Hey, and welcome to Sunday Afternoon in the Office. I'm Tom Pizer. You've probably liked or looked at my page at some point, and I thank you very much. Anyways, some people have been asking a little bit more about me, where I've been, what I've been up to, and just let me give you a little backstory how I got to this point. I've been working on apartment buildings, and it was probably a Monday morning, but then again, in this business, every day is a Monday. You don't get a break. It's 6 Mondays every week, and then one day of catch up. And it just, you're working on one apartment to the next, after, fixing up after somebody's trashed it and walked away from paying their rent. And so here it is, it's like I'm in the middle of the smell of garbage, nicotine, weed, and all I can do is plaster, repair, paint, move on. And hopefully the next tenant has adulted up, and probably not. So here I'm in this one particular apartment, and I'm fixing a plumbing leak, which nobody's ever bothered to report. Typical. And so I'm underneath the sink. I got pliers on one side, and I'm holding the pipe, trying to get it tightened up, and I'm looking, and there's this cockroach walking down my arm like he owns it. And that's when the wheels turned. So rewind back to mid-70s. I graduated from high school, figured I'm just going to go get a trade, get a job in a nice place, get a trade, get my own place. Life is going to be good. But didn't happen. Economy changes. Things happen. I get laid off, get another job, you get laid off, get another job, you get laid off. Nothing is going anywhere. So after 6 years and a bad marriage later, and a failed marriage, it wasn't bad. So I decided to go to college. I got my electronics engineering certificate. And so I went to work for a radio station, which ended up turning into a cable operation, so I went from radio to internet to digital television, moved on, and here I was for 25 years, going from being on the bleeding edge to all of a sudden being retirement with a package, and going from bleeding edge to having a bank account that's bleeding red. So I go to work at a big box hardware store, figuring this is going to do good. Worked there for 6.5 years, part-time work, weird hours, didn't work out. I decide to go and start my own business and help a friend take care of her apartment buildings. This was going to be my ticket. This was going to be me doing my thing with my skills, my hours, my call. This is going to be great. I was going to have extra money coming in. I was going to do something I like, be my own boss, and finally be able to get out of my financial problems. Fast forward to a few months after that, and I'm not sure at this point, a few months after that, but I start getting these panic attacks in the middle of the night. I go downstairs, have a bowl of cereal, stare at a blank TV screen, and wonder how the hell I get myself out of this mess. Sad reality was I'm walking from every day, going from one building to the next, trying to fix things. It just never seemed to stay fixed. Things happen and I don't know. And I'm working 6 days a week. I'm tired all the time. I work for people who don't care. I never have the feeling of a job well done, and the debt load, it just started getting even worse. So I become the official poster for bad retirement planning. And when I worked for cable, I could travel. I could do what I wanted. I was on call 24/7, but I could still do whatever I wanted. When I had vacation, I was able to spend time traveling, and I couldn't do that anymore. People were telling me all about the great vacations, new resorts, this boat, this restaurant was great. I get to go to a restaurant if I had a coupon. That was few and far between. So one day I had enough. So back to the cockroach, boom, dead. I had enough. I want to change my life right now, today. I'm going to look for something. So that night I start going through Facebook. I'm going through Google. I'm posting my resume to LinkedIn. I'm putting anything, trying to get a clue of how to get something going, to do something different, something better, something I could be satisfied with. So a bunch of wasted nights, fruitless searches later, weeks, couple months, I'm not sure. And a friend of mine said to me, hey, check this out. This might be the thing you really need. This could be what you could do. So I'm looking at this video that was attached to a mail that I got from this guy. More about this guy later. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking all about all these online marketing he's talking about. Building a business. And I'm thinking, I can do this. I'm looking at this. I can make this work. So finally I had some ideas. Finally I could figure out what's going on. Here were some answers. So I ordered the package. I spent a big wad of money. I get this package. And I'm looking at it. And they're talking about a website. I used to build web servers. And talk about email. Yeah, I managed email servers. I know how to build mailing lists. And then they start talking about squeeze pages and landing pages and upsells and downsells and OTOs and all of these other things. And I'm like going, how does this all go together? And I'm trying to put it all together. And I'm reading this book and I'm reading this book and I'm reading this book. And nothing is making sense. Everything is not. And I'm just thinking to myself, I just spent $5,000 and I do not know what I'm doing. I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't put all these pieces together. There was a bunch of books, there was a bunch of stuff, but there was nothing there. So I'm looking at all this stuff, and during this time, I looked at this one podcast, and the guy had this one thing that still makes a lot of sense to me. And if you get nothing out of what I'm talking about today, just remember to listen. If you're in a jam like I was, you think to yourself, what is the one thing that if you can do it, will make everything easier or unimportant? So I sat there and I put all this stuff out in front of me, all these books, all these stuff, and I'm thinking, what is the one thing that I can do to make everything easier or unimportant? And I'm thinking about this, and I'm meditating on it, and then the little voice inside my head kind of leans forward and says to me, get some help, jackass. So I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I got to find me a mentor. I have to find myself someone who understands this stuff and who can give me a bit of a leg up. So I'm looking around and I remember this guy who sent me the original email. And he's offering coaching. Half-hour session. So I send him my email, plead my case, and there it is. I didn't think anything's going to happen. Then I get a message back. I have an appointment. This guy wants to talk to me. Well, let's see what happens. Wrong 3 times before, let's go for 4. So our half-hour sessions turns into about an hour. And this guy, after I tell him all about the emails and the web servers and the upsells and the backsells, he says, listen, I do some coaching. Let me help you. Let me get you on the right path. And I listened to this guy, and he has given me so much good advice over these last 3 months that everything has started to come together. And if you are trying to build your online business, if you are trying to look for a new way to expand into new markets, you really need to listen to this guy. Sign up, take a listen to his free video, check it out. You will be happy. If you want to lose the anchor, get out from underneath the sink, get your business moving. Give it a shot.